The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, this is very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Miami Heat. That was the conclusion you woke up with this morning.
That was the conclusion I woke up with this morning.
The funniest thing about it is I forget just how shockingly quiet it was after he made the decision. Mainly because he was in like Massachusetts or something like that. It was like a random Boys and Girls Club, not in Cleveland. It wasn't like it was breaking hearts at home. It was like in like Maryland or Massachusetts. That was my first clue as a Heat fan. Not that he was coming to Miami, but he definitely was not going to be staying in Cleveland.
Oh, LeBron would have, if he was going to choose to stay in Cleveland, he wanted to be surrounded by people who went, yeah!
Yeah, I know. And we're literally going to be doing on ESPN 106.3, and you'll see it on ESPN West Palm's YouTube page and ESPN Top 63 later on today. We're going to be hosting a commitment ceremony for high school football. And I've been to many National Signing Day ceremonies where kids sign their letters of intent. I've been to many of commitments as well where there's hats involved and you pick a hat, you throw it on, everybody celebrates. There's uproar. There is, cries of joy. Mama start tearing up and all of that. That had to be the most awkward commitment I've ever seen. And it is. It literally probably is the most awkward commitment in the history of sports because nobody there was a Heat fan. Nobody there knew exactly what to do or say or how to react. I don't even think if he said the Cleveland Cavaliers, the fans there would have reacted because it was a random Boys and Girls Club. Can we look up what town that was in?
Yeah, all you could hear was the camera flashes.
It was so weird.
As if your still image of LeBron James saying South Beach is going to look different than him saying, hello, welcome to ESPN's special The Decision.
Like, did his facial expression change? He definitely tried to sell up that he had not yet, had his mind made up. And I do love the theatrics of it all. LeBron James is one of my favorite scenes in the movie Django is when Django himself, who was played by Jamie Foxx, came out and told his wife in a surprising fashion. He shocked her. She thought she was in trouble, and he pops up and says, "No, it's me. We're all good." And he says he had a flair for the dramatics. LeBron James, of any other superstar, definitively has a flair for the dramatics. You think back to some of the memorable quotes, like in the bubble, I believe it was, when he got hit in the eye and he hit this game-winning shot. And they asked him, "Hey, LeBron, what happened there?" He said, "I saw one rim to the left. I saw one rim to the right. And I saw one in the middle. And I just shot at the one in the middle." And he's like, "Oh, my God. I know that's going to hit on the documentary." And I kept thinking, well, obviously, if you see three rims, it's going to be the one in the middle. Why would it be the one to the left?
Well, maybe your right eye is blurry and you see better out of your left.
He made it seem like he made some kind of business decision. First of all, I know he didn't see three rims. His eyesight wasn't that bad. He saw one rim. He made it seem as if it was really that dramatic and that tough of a decision.
It went in slow motion and you heard dun, 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 dun. It was Greenwich, Connecticut, by the way. That was
Greenwich, Connecticut, yeah. Yeah, I'm tripping. Well, I kept saying Maryland. Yeah, Greenwich, Connecticut. So no ties to any team. And I think that in all of the hoopla, everybody was mad at LeBron after that. There were a lot of outcries, a lot of sore butts. He ended up donating $2 million to that random Boys and Girls Club, though. That gets lost in the sauce. That means something.
Yeah, I forget where the anger came from specifically. Was it just taking the easy way out?
No. So people were mad because they felt like it was a public display of rejection for his hometown Cleveland Cavaliers. So that's what sparked him leaving in general. Cavs fans were going to be jerks about it. They were going to burn jerseys.
Dan Gilbert did not make it easy either. The owner of the Cavs at the moment hated LeBron.
He made it worse. He really
stoked the flames.
Stoked the flames in ways that is irresponsible for an owner of a franchise, and that is why I do believe it outside of LeBron, nothing great has come out of Cleveland since with that franchise. They had this spark of a year this year. We thought things would be good. They're still suffering. I don't think until LeBron leaves the league, they'll actually find true happiness and success. Well, all because of that letter. That was due to LeBron. You talking about 2016?
Oh, yeah.
That was Bron-oriented. He came back. He saved the city and the franchise, won a ring, and left again. Yeah, he is Cleveland. He is the Cavaliers.
He sure is. But I think
want Elo back?
Cleveland doesn't hate LeBron.
Cleveland doesn't hate him anymore because he came back and restored things with them and won them a championship. There are still several people who were angry about that, who still have the same feelings about that to this day. They just think that he like band-aided it by. It's almost like you got in trouble with your wife and she's mad. It was a huge deal, huge situation. She's angered by it. She still is ticked off at you by it, but you did something nice the next day. So she's gonna stick around. She's gonna be happy.
I don't know. Winning a championship feels more than picking up flowers on the way home from work.
Look at what the Miami Heat fans are like these days. Like Evan Cohen, who I think is more on the fence with it, but there's many folks in this specific office. Like my first ever interaction, by the way, maybe second. I might have done a virtual interview with her, but our general manager here, Stephanie Prince, one of my first in-person interactions after I was hired here in 2020. We were having a team happy hour at Duffy Sports Grill. Mind you, I'm just getting to know everybody. We weren't even passing around 2-for-1 drinks. We're literally just eating appetizers and whatnot at this point. About 45 minutes into the interaction, as we're kicking it, vibing, getting to know each other, Steph Prince, noted Miami Heat fan, South Florida savant, she's almost standing on the table, barking out her disdain for LeBron James and how much she does not appreciate him as a character and as a person for in basketball. And I'm like, wait, he won a couple championships for us. He only won one for Cleveland, and they've forgiven him. He won 2 for Miami, and we act like this guy's a villain for leaving after 4 years when Dwyane Wade's knees were shot, and then Chris Bosh was a year away from having to medically retire.
Yeah, but come on. Context is key. When the Heat already won a championship with Dwyane Wade, LeBron joining and winning 2 more with Dwyane Wade.
He doubled it.
It's almost like it wasn't just LeBron bringing you the championship. Yeah. It was the Heat and LeBron bringing the championship together.
Yes.
Versus LeBron going back to Cleveland was LeBron hand-delivering a championship to a city like Cleveland, Ohio, which
kind of felt, honestly, it felt 2016 championship felt undeserving.
And that was before the Cleveland Indians went all over the World Series, so it's not like they sniffed anything before then either.
Hilariously, it was the same year that the Cleveland Indians blew a 3-1 lead.
Yeah,
which I thought was really beautiful. As a person that is a hater of all things Cleveland sports, it kind of sparked for me post the Dan Gilbert thing. It kind of sparked for me in 2010 when all of this happened. That not only did that gift me 2 championships as a Heat fan, LeBron James making that decision again 15 years ago today, it also was probably the impetus of my hate for Cleveland sports in general. The way the fans acted, how belligerently they came together in the streets and united by burning his jersey. How the owner of their franchise started acting like a petulant child and a scorned lover, writing letters and notes. I just like, he's acting worse, and you're not going to like this reference I'm going to make.
Oh, no.
Dan Gilbert reacted and responded more negatively and I would say more immaturely than Hudda on Love Island USA. Somebody's going to love that one at home. Somebody's like, oh, this guy's great. This guy's making references. It's cultural. It's relevant.
Yeah. Colin Cowherd who? What?
Yeah, like this guy, Cowherd can't pull that one out of his tail.
New king of the metaphor.
Yeah. Dan Gilbert, his actions after LeBron's decision in 2010, July 8th, 2010, the rival Hudda from Love Island USA, and I would damn near say it was worse. And what I mean by that is it just, to me, it was very off-putting, and honestly, the way Cleveland sports fans acted as well afterwards was very off-putting. But all of that aside, C-Cat, it created what became the Big Three, the Heatles. The Heatles, the era in Miami sports history that will live in infamy to some, but for many of folks that were rooting for the Heat, a great amount of nostalgia about those times. Every time they breathed, they sneezed. Every time a win, a loss, a streak was snapped, anything happened in South Florida at that time with the Miami Heat. It was a national headline.
A 4-year residency